Hey, we're Harry, Keeley, Karen and Richard, a British family who packed up our lives and moved onto a sailboat to explore the world, making videos for our family and friends to enjoy along the way.
Hello and welcome to a slightly different episode of Sailing Wonder in Blue. This boat behind us, as well as being a sailing vessel that can sail around the world, is also our home and our car and everything else in between, where we spend 90% of our time.
So today we're going to show you all the jobs we have to do to keep Blue running smoothly and keep everything nice and clean.
So the first job on the list is one of my favourites, and it is the one that I end up doing most because I think I get the most excited about it, and that is jumping in the bosun seat and climbing up the mast. This allows us to inspect the rigging, the running and standing rigging, to make sure that nothing is corroded, frayed, wearing out or damaged. Also allows us to do repairs if needed to things like the radar, the navigation lights, steaming lights, anchor light, and the weather vane, which I recently had to climb up here right to the very top, 76 foot up, and replace. Don't drop it. It also gives you the best view in the house by far. A little bit of peace and quiet away from everything. Yeah, it's good stuff. We do this about once a month usually, or after any long passages. So for example, we're heading over to Albania in a few weeks. That's sort of a 12 to 14 day hop, and we'll do a big inspection of not just the mast but the entire boat after that. Yeah, it's good fun. Ready to come down? Yeah, I can come down now.
So today we are cleaning Blue. This is something that we do like once a week, or when we get back from a long passage, clean all the salt off and the Sahara dust that's been coming over for the last few days. So yeah, let's get to it. Hello.
Clean, dirty, clean, dirty. It is amazing. We've only had 2 rain showers and a few days of wind, and the Saharan sand that's come over because we're currently in Spain is insane, and it's so crazy how quickly it just turns the boat absolutely filthy. Like when we're at sea, obviously it gets very salty and it looks dirty, but now it looks like a different coloured boat.
Cleaning these. We always see people having to get them replaced because they go really misty. So just keeping on top of cleaning these is probably another good job to do.
So we're doing a proper deep clean this time of the floor in the cockpit, just because we've had a lot of people on and off the boat, and it's very windy with all the Sahara sand that I was saying earlier. So we're going to lather this cleaning stuff right up, leave it for 20 minutes and then come and wash it off. Because it's filthy in here.
As well as cleaning above the waterline, we also dive down and give the hulls, propellers and rudders a good scrub whenever we can.
This helps prolong the effects of Wandering Blue's anti-foul treatment, as well as increasing efficiency and speed through the water. We'll take any excuse to put on a mask, so this is right up there with our favourite jobs.
So as you can see, the bilge pump is down here. So the bilge is the lowest point of the boat, so that's where any sort of water will collect. We just like to routinely check these to make sure that everything's running smoothly and there's no water in the bilges.
We've just poured some water into the bilge to test that the pumps are still working after the lightning strike. The good news is that the main bilge pump that activates when there's water in there is still working. Obviously it only takes it down to a certain level and then activates when it's above that level. I'm having to get the rest of the water out by hand. The float switch at the very top of the bilge that lets us know when the main bilge pump can't keep up with the amount of water coming in. That would be a very bad thing. Because we have problems further down that line, that's not currently working. We don't know if it's the switch or something further down, but we're working on it. We don't have much teak on board, favouring gel-coated fiberglass with a non-slip finish, mainly because of how easy it is to maintain, as you saw earlier in this film.
The teak we do have though is on the dolphin seats, swim ladders and windlass cover. It's pretty satisfying work bringing it back to life after a few weeks or months of fading.
The next job that we have to do fairly routinely is changing out the filters on our water maker. I'm going to do a fairly in-depth video on our water maker when I run through all the technical areas of the boat, but for all you need to know now is that the filter stops all of the stuff, gunk and obviously salt coming in from the sea, and it filters it all out and makes us nice, fresh, clean, lovely water to drink and wash with and do the washing up and clean the boat down and all those bits. We do it roughly once a month depending on the quality of the water. If we were in a crystal clear blue anchorage in the Bahamas, we'd probably do it less often than that. As we're mainly in marinas at the minute having repairs, we do it about once a month. So the first step is to turn the system from auto flush and turn it off. That means I'm not going to get all wet when I go down and do what I'm about to do. We've got the main water inlet that comes through this pipe here. We've got the strainer, we've got the carbon filter, which we also have to replace but far less often, and then we've got the main filter, which is just under there. First thing I'm going to do, again to stop me getting all minging and covered in water, is I'm going to turn the inlet off. So that handle is now perpendicular to the pipe, which means it's off and I'm not going to get soaked. Strainer all looks good. So now I'm going to get my bucket, it should be big enough, and I'm going to undo this. So I've got my very special tool that comes with the filters, and that's just going to help me get a good purchase. It's worth quickly mentioning here that this filter is only one of many steps in our water making system, including a carbon filter, multiple strainers and a UV filter on our kitchen tap specifically, which is the only tap we actually drink from. Oh, it stinks, which is actually a good sign, because if this filter stinks, it means that our water doesn't stink. So I'm going to pour the water that was in the filter down the outside sink. So this filter that we've just taken out, although it does smell a bit, it's actually not too bad compared to some of the others that we've taken out in the past, although you can still see the difference between a brand new one and one that's been used. So what we're going to do, take this out, give it a clean and keep it, because you never know when you might need one if we run out of fresh ones and we can't find them. So we'll keep it as a spare, especially as it's not too bad, but we're going to replace it with a nice fresh new one, and we'll have drinking water for a lot longer. Okay, push it back in. I'm just making sure that it's flushing through correctly, but it is. I can hear it coming out the side, which means it's flushing. So we're all good. We 100% trust our water maker and its filters to clean water like this and make it safe for us to drink and wash with. But why would we do that? Because all it's going to do is run these filters out even sooner than they needed to be. So use shore water when we can, save these bad boys, but that's how we replace them when we need to.
Next job is to clean the stainless steel. So first we rinse down the boat, and then we apply this liquid, it's like a cream, leave it to dry and then polish it off. We usually do this once a month or after long passages when salt is built up on the stainless steel. So let's get to it. And Karen is just polishing off. Look how shiny it is.
Next up, we've got engine checks. So obviously, despite being a sailboat, we do have an engine in each hull for emergencies and when there's no wind and docking. So it's very important that our engines run really smoothly all the time and are kept maintained, serviced and working basically. So I'm going to get down into the engine bay. So you join me in the portside engine bay, and I'm just going to quickly talk you through all of the checks we do before we use the engine essentially. So just like in your car, you might do a check before you go on a long drive. we do the same. So the first step is water, and that's water coming into the engine. So through the strainers, we make sure there's no blockages. Coming out of the engine, coolant water, making sure it's coming out off the side of the boat, and also just making sure there's no water, fresh or salty, in the engine bay where it shouldn't be. Next up is oil. So again, just like your car, we check using a dipstick the oil levels, obviously making sure that it's the right colour and that there's enough oil in there. We do carry spares. And also that there's no oil, again, like water, in the engine bay where it shouldn't be. Next up is belts. So fairly self-explanatory, making sure that all the belts on the engine are there, that they're not frayed, that they're not broken, and that they're tight enough to do their job. Bilges, similar to water, making sure that there's no water in the engine bay where it shouldn't be. And then you've just got a general look around, making sure that there's no frayed wires, no water, no belts damaged, nothing, sort of encapsulates everything else, just making sure there's nothing dodgy in the engine bay. And then finally you've got electrics, so making sure that the stop button that turns the engine off is up so it will start in the first place, and also making sure it's unisolated. We isolate the engines every time we're not using them for safety, so making sure if you want to start it, that obviously needs to be turned on. So these are the checks we do ourselves before every journey, but again, like your car, our engines will also go to an official Yanmar dealer for servicing while they're still under warranty. So they had one before we bought the boat, one at 50 hours of engine running time, and then they'll have one for every year after that. And that's pretty much it for engines. Those are all the things that we could think of that we do routinely. If you live on a boat and think that we've missed something, please let us know. And if you don't live on a boat and are just interested to see more about anything you've seen today, definitely let us know, because we are going to do a deeper dive into everything that makes this boat work, especially when it's off grid. So yeah, let us know.
And just remember to click the notification bell to keep up to date with our videos.
Yeah, and subscribing is free. Cool, see you later guys.
Thanks so much for watching. We love making these films so you can follow along with our adventure. Click the button on the left to watch another, or the one on the right to subscribe and never miss an upload. See you next time.